He was the one who sent me that message in the vision.
What?
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Yeah, that was 10 years ago.
What?
Yeah, you are part of my spiritual family. And that's how to explain communicating on a spiritual level.
Our entire group of friends have been individually visited by some kind of divine feminine being.
Yeah, completely crazy. Should I tell a story?
She was walking in the woods, and then she just stopped by a river, and all of a sudden, Guan Yin, she got sucked into my eyes.
I was looking into Gloria's eyes. I immediately got sucked in. Within a couple minutes, I felt like I was in space. And as I was seeing that, I saw the Divine Mother.
The face of Divine Mother.
I see those sparks around you. Actually, 2 people have seen that around you now. So there's definitely something happening with you. It cannot be denied.
My loves, it is time to finally share my extraordinary spiritual awakening story. I've promised you for months that when the time was right, I will tell you everything. This is a 2-part series taking place over the next couple of weeks. Documentary style, you'll see multiple friends and witnesses who have been part of this incredible experience this past year. It is so important for me to be authentic to myself, and I know that not everybody listening is going to agree with me or even relate, and that's okay. Just know that I'm here to simply share my experience. You'll hear about the telepathic message I received from my 90-year-old Rosicrucian master teacher that he sent me 10 years ago, how I accidentally hypnotized a couple of people just by looking into their eyes, some ridiculous manifestation stories with screenshots, and how over 8 people this year in my vicinity have had a direct physical encounter with the Divine Mother herself. Some of these stories are so shocking, which is why I had to divide this into 2 separate episodes. And I would highly recommend watching this on a video platform such as Spotify, YouTube, or Apple Podcasts, so you can see the photos, the screenshots, everyone who has been involved in this series. Everything that you're about to hear is 100% true, although it's up to you on whether you want to believe me or not. Let's dive in right after this intro. Welcome to the Inner Child Podcast. Now with 2 million downloads, I help high achievers recover from painful relationships and childhood trauma. Let's heal together on Season 2 of the Inner Child Podcast. So, today we're doing something I've never done before, which is having my friend interview me on the podcast. Welcome, Mia.
Thanks for having me.
I'm going to get emotional saying this, but I am very grateful for your friendship since I moved here just about 3 years ago. And you've been there.
Same here.
Yeah, you've been there through everything. Like even during my bachelorette party, you were there. You were there when we started going through this awakening process together.
That's right. Yes.
You've seen all of it. And I would feel like I'm losing my mind if you weren't there.
Same. I feel the same.
So, Mia, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit first?
Sure. So I'm Mia. I'm the founder of beauty brand Luna Nectar, and you can find us in stores such as Ulta Beauty and Nordstrom.
Yep. I love Mia's products, so I'm going to
thank you.
plug her a little bit here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And she's very talented, very successful, and recently also very spiritual as well.
Yes, that's a whole different story. And same here, I have you to thank for bringing that out in me and letting me open my eyes and explore that world more. So all thanks to you.
So, yeah, we have a lot to talk about today. So I guess I'll just start off by saying we wanted to record something like this a year ago. I don't think we were ready for it then, but these extraordinary things that have been happening to us and our friends, it's just been speeding up over the past year, and it just feels like it's time to
reveal ourselves.
Exactly.
Yes. So knowing you, Gloria, since many years ago, you were always spiritual, but why are you deciding to share this story now?
That's a great question. The reason is because throughout my whole career, I've really followed things the academic way for a long time. So University of Toronto and Western Ontario. And I started off actually working at a research lab in Sickets, right? Sickets Hospital. So my My mindset was very much the academic route. We publish papers. But when you start experiencing things that are, I guess, would be considered more supernatural, it doesn't really fit in the framework of the academic world. Anyway, the whole reason I'm even mentioning that in the first place is I really have nothing to gain by coming out and talking about these spiritual things. If anything, I have a lot to lose. And I've already experienced a little bit of that. So when I released that video talking about, Danny Goler's experiments with the laser code, I did get comments.
That was a very interesting video.
It is?
Yes, I loved it. I think that was the first time where I was actually blown away by what you were up to. I didn't know you were experimenting with the laser and the code, and it was so interesting to me and really opened my eyes.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you made it very easy to talk about when I came back, and I was like, "Hey guys, I just came back from Costa Rica. Guess what I was part of?" Yeah, so I've had people say things like literal comments of people saying things like, "Oh, you're throwing your career away. Why are you talking about this stuff? It's not spiritual. It's evil," right? I have faced a little bit of that, but the message that is coming out of these experiences is more important than what people are going to think. I believe it has everything to do with trauma healing and humanity awakening. So that's what I believe.
That's beautiful. And yeah, I think that's so true. A lot of people, they kind of box you in, right? You're on one path with them, and they think this is the main path to follow. They're not opening their mind to something else. But this is such a big, vast world out there, and you have so much more to offer.
Thank you.
I don't know what I'm saying. No, that's perfect. I'm just trying to be a interviewer. Okay, let me ask you, can you share how your awakening started in 2016?
Yes. So 2016 was it was when I went to Peru as like a 20-something-year-old and experienced ayahuasca in plant medicine for the first time. Although I will mention, technically it started when I was a child. When I was very, very little, I often had out-of-body experiences.
Really?
Yeah. I've talked about that a little bit on the podcast, but I think at that point, the dissociation from being out of my body was caused by trauma, and it wasn't something that I was intentionally practicing as a skill. So I had some of that when I was a kid. 2016, I went to Peru, had an amazing 5 ceremonies with the local shaman. I had an episode about this a while ago too, and I'm going to show my my little drawings here. So the relevance of this story is that during one of my last ceremonies, I had a very profound vision and experience, and it was twofold. So on one hand, I was told that I would meet my teacher sometime in the future, and I wouldn't know who it was at the time. And I had this experience where I was given this golden liquid.
Yes.
It looked like it was honey or something. And it was intuitively spoken to me that I'm to drink this. So I remember drinking this metaphoric liquid. And it came down and it fused into my heart. And
Yes.
that's what this picture is, right? It's my heart and these golden droplets. And it almost felt like the liquid, it became alive. It fused into my heart. And before I got too excited, I had this telepathic thought of, oh, don't get too excited. This gift is not for you.
Oh.
It's for other people through you.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And I think I told you only a few days ago that I came across a book that
Yes.
depicted the exact same thing.
Right.
In which it's called Liquid Luck by Joe Gallenberger. So I believe he taught at the Monroe Institute, which is an institute that one of the first psychic spies in the CIA taught there as well. And it was about cultivating luck, and how you do that is you picture golden liquid in a bottle and you infuse.
Oh, really?
Yes,
God.
whatever you like in there, like love, compassion, abundance, and then you drink it every day and you store it away. For me, I like to store it in my heart because I feel like it makes the most sense, but it's the same sort of idea, I think.
It's very interesting. Yeah. I see lots of parallel experiences. Yeah. So obviously 10 years ago, I hadn't even started this podcast yet. I had no context for what this meant. In that same ceremony, I wrote it down too. Where was it? Oh, right here. It was a whole list of things that I would do in the future. So start a podcast, write a book, do a TED talk.
Check.
Yeah. And again, almost overwhelming for me to hear at that time. But I just wrote it down, kept it filed away in the back of my mind.
Do you think that vision was given to you by a spiritual guide or?
Yes. Because I ended up meeting my teacher last year, and you've met him too. And he was the one who sent me that message in the vision.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What?
Yeah. So
10 years ago.
yeah, that was 10 years ago.
Did he tell you this recently?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We even did a podcast interview together, and I'm going to add a clip of that insert into here. Jean-Claude, my neighbor, my mentor, my good friend.
Well, I'm impressed and a little bit shy, but I'll do my best.
Yeah, I even showed you the vision I had of you 10 years ago before I even met you. I followed a series of synchronicities over 9 years and eventually went to one of your Rosicrucian meetings and then find out that we're actually neighbors, which it blew my mind. It was amazing.
Yeah, you are part of my family, my spiritual family. And that's hard to explain because communicating on a spiritual level, I adopted you as my grandniece number 12. It's an exceptional connection. With you, the contact on a spiritual level is instant and at a very high level.
I feel the same way.
There are very few people who are at a high level in the spiritual realm while staying on this planet. And it's meeting you, it's exceptional because I don't think of anybody I can fully relate on a spiritual level, even other fellow Rosicrucians.
So last year, this was August 2025. It had been 2 years since I moved to Vancouver. And then I saw an ad pop up on the screen, and it was something about golden, something along the lines. And it caught my attention. I clicked on it. It was an ad for the Rosicrucians.
Oh,
I didn't know what the Crucian even meant.
like a Facebook ad that popped
Yes,
up?
exactly.
Oh,
It was a Facebook ad.
interesting, yeah.
Right? And I didn't know what it was, but I felt like I had to click on it and see what it was about. And I saw that the Rosicrucians were having their monthly meeting in Vancouver, and they were open to non-members, new members. And I messaged the guy and I signed up right away. I just had this feeling like I have to go to whatever this thing was. And it was at the Hilton Hotel near in Metrotown. So I go there. I'm so nervous. I meet the members and I find out that the BC MC, the Master of Ceremonies, happened to be there today. And he was this 90-year-old man named Jean-Claude, and he's French. And apparently he had reached the highest degrees of Rosicrucianism. So there's no more. And he basically was overseeing the British Columbia sector. So I was so honored to meet this person. But when he and I locked eyes and we talked for the first time, he was like, "It's you. I've been waiting to meet you."
Oh my gosh.
When you achieve a certain level of that, you can understand a lot of what is happening on this planet. Most of the problems, it's a lack of love as an energy. I love you because you love me. Love is not that. It's an energy that comes to you and you have to broadcast it as one at a time or to a group or to the whole planet.
You turned 90 years old this year, so happy late birthday. Can you maybe share the story about how you became a Rosicrucian?
That was a long time ago. I was probably 18 or 19 years old in France, and I saw a little ad, tiny ad in a selection of the Reader Digest, the French edition, and I've been a member of the Rosicrucian order since 1971, so it's a
Wow.
long time.
Mm.
It was part of my destiny, but you see, it comes in steps. The timing is very important in your life.
And very similar to how I met you. Thank you so much, my friend and mentor and now grandfather.
Yeah,
Thank you.
my granddaughter.
Perfect. And I got so emotional, Mia. I started almost crying in front of him. This
Oh my
random
gosh.
9-year-old man I just met.
Yeah.
Right? And as the meeting ends, he asks if we want to take the train together, and I say yes. And turns out we're heading in the same direction. That's really nice. And then, turns out we're getting off at the same train
Oh my
station.
gosh, yeah.
Okay. Oh, you're going this way. I'm also going this way
okay.
too. And then we land in front of my building, and he's like, "Oh, I live here."
That's crazy. So he's your
It is-
neighbor.
Yep.
Wow.
So, and we had been so close to each other for almost 2 years from when I had met, and we had no idea. And what's crazy is the reason that we hadn't met in those 2 years is I moved to Vancouver when his wife passed away. So his wife passed away, and then I came here, and then we're like neighbors. And he was the teacher, right? He was the teacher and the person in this picture. I see him every week. I've learned so much from him. He's initiated me into Rosicrucianism. So for those listening who don't know what that is, it's an ancient mystery school. They study a lot of worldly knowledge and spiritual knowledge that supposedly came all the way back from the ancient Egyptian times. So that's what it is.
very, very intriguing.
Yes, and you've met Jean-Claude twice.
I have, yeah. He's really, really generous and gentle and
Yes.
very wise. He has a lot of stories to tell all the time. And yeah, I always learn a lot from him when I see him. Yeah.
I'm really glad.
Yes. And I did go to one Rosicrucian meeting.
Yes, you did with your
Yes.
cousin. So yeah, that really happened. I sometimes I still can't believe that happened.
So when he told you that he was the one giving you this vision, how did that come about?
He has been meditating for his whole life. He's reached a level of mastery where he's always connected to the source. He's able to participate in life, but he's also very much, connected there. And some of the things he's taught me is that really in the spiritual sense, time and distance are not really real. He communicates with his wife still, even though she's passed on. And he says there's no reason why he couldn't communicate with me either.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Wow, that is
Yeah.
really, really crazy.
It is, yeah. And he feels that, we're, and you as well, like we're all sort of connected in some kind of soul family.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting connection. It's like, it's hard to explain. There's like a familiarity there.
Exactly. A familiarity. And so that was last August, almost 1 year ago. And, just from learning all the stuff in Rosicrucianism, that's when I found out about numerology, and I found out like everything in my life is a 9.
Yes, you did go through the 9 phase. I do remember.
The 9 phase. Yeah, you were there too.
The 9 era. Yeah, so tell us more about that.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I learned a little bit about that in Rosicrucianism because they have some knowledge around the significance of sacred geometry and numbers. And I discovered, my birthday is a 9. My phone number, address, just my parents' address, my sister's address. It became overwhelming at some point. We even looked at the date that me and my husband Andrew met, the date of our wedding.
9.
Yeah,
everywhere.
And Andrew's
Surrounded.
seriously. And Andrew's birthday is September 9, so he's a double 9.
Oh my gosh. It's meant to be. It's written in the code.
Yeah, apparently. So that's when I really started to see, okay, there's more to life than just the material, right?
Totally,
There's something
everything's
going on.
coded in already. Well, speaking of code,
Oh, nice.
tell me more about what happened in February of this year with Danny Goler.
If you haven't seen the past episode, I did talk about the laser code, but Danny Goler, he is a psychedelic and cognitive science researcher, and I met him online just sort of by chance about 3 years ago, before he really popped off and Now he's, on a bunch of podcasts. He made this incredible discovery, basically proving that physical reality is a simulation. It involves using a laser to kind of see through a different layer of reality. And so he was running his first retreat in February, and he was asking if I could go. And I was kind of going back and forth on it, but I got a lot of intuitive signs, similar to when I met Jean-Claude, that I really should go. And it really changed my life. It really set off a lot of things in my life. Seeing that simulation code just made it so much more real, that there is so much more to what we consider reality than we imagine.
Hey, Gloria. How are you doing?
I'm doing so great. We are here in
We
Costa
are.
Rica at your beautiful retreat. And
Thank you for this.
yeah, I just wanted to
Means a
talk
lot.
to you before we head off. Do you feel like you accomplished what you set out for during this beautiful 7-day retreat?
I tend to do all the work for the prep, and then I let things just flow. And some people like yourself saw the code. But the truth is that even though a lot of people do come for the code, very often they discover that what they really came for is themselves, realizing that they're not just an observer, but an actual participator in the game. And of course, all of these utterances, can sound like empty tropes unless they're coupled with an actual experience that delivers the truth of that experience.
What do you think they want us to learn?
I think that the layers of reality, they're all about realizing that you're part of a universal flow. But then when we evolve to a certain level, then they don't have a choice but to let us know gently that we're not alone. And ultimately, it's almost like God hires contractors to like kind of manage the different layers of reality, and every layer holds its own magic and brings its own value. And I think our value is that we are executing the creative force. And I think that ultimately it shows us that we are capable of so much more.
So Danny, I think they are publishing a paper that's coming out. They have a documentary coming out later this year as well. And I think over 1,000 people have been witness to this phenomenon at this point.
That is so crazy. Can you describe a little bit more about how do you feel when you see it?
The most recent idea, they believe that we're actually peering into the fourth dimensional space. So the structure in the code, when you actually look at it, it moves and behaves in a way that feels impossible with our three-dimensional eyes. And that's why it looks a little bit strange, but it's also solid, right? It's coherent. You saw a little bit of that structure too,
I
like
did,
the
yes.
honeycomb.
Yes, I saw the honeycomb.
Layers.
Yeah, I wasn't on DMT, but
Yeah, you were
did.
meditating.
I did see the honeycomb.
It's almost like the consciousness itself is like an interface.
Wow.
So yeah, it
Very
gets
techie.
yeah, it gets very techy.
We're part of that tech.
Yeah, we are.
How does that even work?
We're gonna have to find out. Yeah, it's
Hopefully
a
the
very
documentary
new,
talks about that.
It's a very new science. All the stuff we're talking about is very timely because there's a lot of research coming out, branching physics, weird physics and consciousness, like Dr. Donald Hoffman, Dr. Tom Campbell, who I'm a big fan of, who came from the Monroe Institute, and his theories of how consciousness is really just a science that we don't understand yet.
Yeah, there's just so much to explore. Tell us about some of the crazy manifestation stories that happened after Costa Rica.
So the way I understand it is when we are in a state of coherence, so the heart is open and we're feeling that strong connection to source, divine, God, we can actually influence the probabilities in our physics. So that's more of the simulation theory I more so agree on. I was playing the Tim Hortons roll up the rim lottery. Let's say there's like a 10% chance of winning something, right? If you have a heart-mind alignment and coherence, and you can actually direct your intention to change the probability of things that, materialize into physical form, right? So you could maybe change it to 40%, right? Or 50%. It's never quite 100%, but that seems to be the way that manifestation works. And to me, that is what prayer ultimately is. It's being in communion with the divine and using your intention, co-creating together with with God, with divine. So I had a couple of really weird things happen, and I have people's permission to share this. So my friend Jay, he's a guy who's working on starting a abandoned dog sanctuary, right? That's his dream. And I said, I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to help you manifest your first abandoned dog. Now, keep in mind, he lives in Toronto. I live in Vancouver, but I was in a really good state at that time. So I went into this prayer. Literally the next day, I get a call from my sister, right? And she lives in Toronto, and she says, Gloria, I need help. And apparently her boyfriend was forced to take an abandoned dog home from his job. So one of his clients left an abandoned dog, and for some reason, his boss forced him to take the dog home. So my sister is calling me from her lobby, holding the leash of this abandoned dog, and she can't bring him upstairs because they had just adopted a cat. And so she calls me and says, for some reason, I can't get in touch with any of my friends in Toronto. No one's picking up the phone. Is there anything you can do to help me? And I'm looking at the picture of this dog, and I'm just in disbelief. And I said, I think I've got someone for you.
Yeah.
So I call my friend Jay and I say, you're not going to believe it. I manifested your first abandoned dog.
Wow.
And he says, oh, it's perfect. I can actually Uber to your
Wow.
sister's place.
What are the chances, right?
Pick up. So we hang up the phone. I introduce him to my sister. He goes and picks up the dog. And then that was it. That was their first.
That was easy.
That actually happened.
Amazing.
Yeah. And he says it was the craziest thing that's ever happened to him. And so I've been praying for people a lot. To me, that happening with dog, it was like a message to me that this is real, and you have to use this to help people who need it, right? So I have been praying for, people close to me, my friends. I pray for my clients all the time, team members. And I will say that for clients that I've known and worked with for a long time, we start to develop this psychic connection, which multiple people have reported to me. I'll say one thing in session and it actually appears in their real life. I've had past clients come on this podcast and talk about their amazing manifestation stories like Sophia and a few others. And I'm even thinking of creating some kind of prayer aspect to my community and bringing prayer more into my work because it really seems to help people. People are truly benefiting from this and they're healing. A couple months ago, I had another friend, Brenda, who has been trying to get her PR in Canada for about the past 5 years. And so I prayed for her. And literally 2 weeks later, she got her PR.
No way. So you're magic.
Well, but that's the thing. I think everyone can do it. Right?
So what is the power of prayer?
And by the way, prayer is, to me, it's not a religious dogma. I don't attach to any dogma. It really is just being in a state of communion and connection with something greater than yourself, right? And using the power of intention to bring about a materialization of something. So
Can you walk us through your prayers? So what would you say, for example, when you manifested?
So I've been following the Kriya Yoga meditations mostly. So I will get into a state where I'll visualize the ascended masters. I feel a connection to Yeshua, Jesus Christ, Babaji, some of these other ascended masters. And I really feel a connection to their energy. And once I feel like I'm in the zone, then I will focus my intention and I'll visualize the person that I'm praying for. And I'll visualize actually seeing them with the desired outcome. Yeah, so I imagine my friend Brenda, that she's jumping up and down with her boyfriend and they're holding a PR piece of paper and feeling their excitement. So I focus on that for a few minutes until it gets really real. And then the important part after that is letting go and then trusting God or trusting source with it and then
just allowing it to fall into the ether, so to speak. So
I hear a lot of people when they use their powers, they can definitely use it for other people or, see what other people are
Yeah.
up to. But how about for yourself? Do you find that you can do that for yourself as well?
yes, yeah. So I don't know if you noticed my new desk.
This table?
Yeah, because it was a folding table before, right?
Can't remember now.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's been a while. So I was actually working on like a picnic table for a while.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. Like I need a new desk.
Need a real table.
Yeah. But I'm so used to the large picnic desk that I insisted it has to be 30 by 60. But when you go onto Wayfair or these other sites, so I gave up. I said, you know what? It's got to be 30 by 60. Otherwise, I'll just keep this picnic table desk. I kid you not, and I have photos so I can show you. The next week, someone posted a piece of paper downstairs in the condo lobby with a photo of a desk with measurements written on it, 30 by 60.
No way. What?
I'm gonna put a picture of this on the podcast.
Yes.
That's my
crazy.
jaw dropped. I was like, ain't no way. So I messaged the guy, and it's like a retired couple, He said, you're the only person and the first person to text me.
Yeah.
So we got it for free.
When you're looking, it'll just come.
Yeah, and we've talked about synchronicities, right? And how when we're receiving messages from the divine, they can arrive as like little winks and nudges, and things like that can happen. But I see it all as a miracle.
So amazing. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
I need to try this.
Yeah, and in a way, I feel like you guys, I manifested. I always wanted to, when all this was happening, wanting to have close connection with someone who would understand more than ever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, speaking of that, when did you realize that all this wasn't just happening to you, but with your friends as well?
Yeah. And you.
And me.
So, next week's part 2 on the Inner Child podcast. Our entire group of friends have been individually visited by some kind of divine feminine being.
Yeah, completely crazy. Should I tell a story?
She was walking in the woods, and then she just stopped by a river, and all of a sudden Guan Yin,
She literally asked the goddess what was her name, and the goddess told her Guan Yin.
she got sucked into my eyes.
I was looking into Gloria's eyes. I immediately got sucked in. Within a couple minutes, I felt like I was in space. And as I was seeing that, I saw the Divine Mother.
The face of Divine Mother.
I see those sparks around you. Actually, 2 people have seen that around you now. So there's definitely something happening with you. It cannot be denied.
Thanks for tuning in, bestie. I've got something for you. If you think this show deserves a 5-star review, we'll send you my free Inner Child Starter Kit as a thank you for your support, which contains exclusive wallpapers and resources for you to download. To get your kit, just upload a screenshot of your review on Apple or Spotify to my webpage, bygloriazhang.com/reviews. The link is also in the show notes. There you can also check out my healing sessions and programs at bygloriazhang.com. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast, and I will meet you in the next episode. Mwah!